4 weeks had passed since Lex Luthor's defeat, but the aftermath was still palpable. The world had been shaken by the revelation of Luthor's grand scheme and involvement in framing me for Superman's supposed murder. But amidst all the chaos, there was a glimmer of hope. The news that the Man of Steel was alive and well had spread like wildfire, and people were relieved to hear it. As for me, I had retreated back to the safety of my cave, to heal from the injuries I had sustained in that final battle with Lex. It had been a close call, and I was lucky to be alive. But the physical wounds were not the only ones that needed healing. I knew that my allies in the Justice League were not to blame for their initial mistrust. Lex had masterfully manipulated them, but the damage had been done, and the Justice League was now in a position where we had to rebuild the trust that had been broken. But I knew Gotham needed me now more than ever, and I couldn't let this get in the way of protecting the city. Suddenly the phone rang, interrupting my thoughts. I picked it up to hear the voice of Police Commissioner Gordon on the other end.
"Batman, we have a situation,"
Gordon said in a grave tone. "What is it?" I asked, already anticipating the worst.
"It's about Lex Luthor. He's been found dead in his cell."
"What?" I exclaimed. "How did that happen?"
"He was killed. A surgical cut to his throat. We're investigating, but so far we have no leads."
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After all that had happened, Lex Luthor was dead. The news sent shivers down my spine, and I couldn't help but wonder who was behind it. Lex had his fair share of enemies, and it was no surprise that someone would want him dead. I needed to get to the bottom of this, and I knew that I had to start my investigation by visiting Arkham Asylum, where Lex had been held. As I made my way to Arkham, my mind was filled with thoughts and questions. Who would have had the skills and the motive to kill Luthor? The killing was too precise, too meticulous for the likes of the Joker. I knew that whoever was responsible was cunning and calculated. As I finally arrived at Arkham, I quickly made my way to Lex's cell, now cordoned off by the police. The scene that awaited me was a gruesome one. The lifeless body of Lex Luthor lay on the ground, a deep wound in his throat indicating a swift and brutal kill. I scanned the cell, searching for any evidence that might lead me to the killer. But there was nothing. The cell was eerily clean, and there were no signs of a struggle. It was as if the perpetrator had vanished into thin air, leaving me with more questions than answers. Someone had taken justice into their own hands, and I needed to find out who it was before it was too late. The thought of another threat looming over Gotham was unsettling, but I was determined to get to the bottom of this and put an end to it.